Okay, so Garrett, any question you want to start off with? Two point three. I got it. 2.3, number 19. Okay, I'm running with kind of. I had real troubles connecting tonight too, so I don't have anything. Kind of. I may have to. It'll take me a little while to get the problem set up. Okay, so it's number 19, which is about number 18. Okay. We have 3 brands, A, B, and C. Now, here's what gets a little tricky, Garrett. When you're plugging these in, you have to start by putting in the numbers in the most over. Oh, it's 2.3, number 19, not on. Oh, I'm on 2.4. My problem. Excuse me. Thank you, Garrett. Finally there. So draw a Venn diagram that represents this. Okay. So let's see. So not in A could be translated as, see if you get that, Garrett, a complement. Do you remember a complement? Have you gotten to that? A complement means everything outside. Okay, got it. And then in B, so that's just a B. And then or gets translated as union. You got to off to the side here. And is intersection, and or is union. Okay, so let me make this drawing now. We got a superset, kind of a universal set. We've got a set A and we've got a set B. Okay, so first of all, I have to sketch a complement. I'm going to do that with red. So I just want to welcome Chris. Welcome. We're working on, as you can probably tell, 2.3, number 19.
Okay, perfect. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening to you. So I'm just starting this thing off. Here was the problem up here on the top. And then I translated everything that's not in A is another way to say that is a complement. Everything that's in B, well, that's just B. And then or is union, and I had this little sidebar over here. Hopefully that came through in the lessons. All right, so I've got a complement. Then where's B? And I'm going to use, I'll use blue, and I'm going to shade a different way. So there's B. So now the question is, where is A union B? Well, union means what? It means take it all together, and we don't care, we don't want repeats. So in other words, the answer to this is everywhere in the diagram where there is shading. So basically, that's everything except that 3/4 moon that's naked in A. So the answer is all the shading taken together, including this little patch in here. Okay? And that's what they wanted, a Venn diagram, right? Yeah. So I would just say on the side, union means all shaded areas. You don't have to write that in your notes, but so union
That's for 2.3 question 19.
I believe it is, unless I'm in the wrong place. Yeah, on page 80. So the answer is all. So the only thing that's not in the answer is that naked part. Okay. I don't know, Garrett, if you want to follow up on that, or if that's not clear, let me know. Yeah, Chris, I was telling Garrett, I don't know, you're having a little trouble with his audio.
Okay.
But you should know that up in the top left of your screen, if you move your mouse to the top left of the screen, you'll see a little blue chat box.
Yeah.
And if you click on that, it opens up a chat window on the right. And then you can also type things to me. Okay, thanks, Garrett. So, with only 2 of you here, which is a little bit of a shock to me, I mean, that's fine. Chris, do you have a question you would like to ask?
2.3, not so much. I'm still going through notes and trying to figure out everything.
Yep.
Sorry?
I'm sorry, I said yes.
Oh, yeah, I'm still just going through notes and trying to decipher and make sure that I'm understanding everything correctly. But 2.3 is good to go for me. I'm struggling on 2.4, but we haven't gotten there yet. So
well, let's go there right now. What would you like to do on 2.4? Garrett, I got your message about losing sound. Oh, Garrett seems to be gone. Maybe he's going to try to come back. Okay. I was just going to see if, never mind. So, yeah, you can go to lesson 2.4. That would be just fine.
And then right off the bat, the very first question I was kind of confused on.
That's fine. So, N, do you get what that notation means, Chris?
The notation equaling 15, you mean?
Yeah, that N parentheses A equals 15. Do you know what that means?
No.
All that means is the number of elements in set A is 15.
Okay.
So literally, if you counted all the individual elements, there would be 15 of them.
Okay.
Okay, and then we also know that the number of elements in set B is 20. And the number in A intersect B is 5. And you're supposed to find the number of elements in A union B. Okay, there's the problem. So, now what I'm going to do is make a diagram. You have some interesting beeping going on in here. Let's see, Garrett is back. Okay. Garrett, just a clarification. I saw your note that you lost sound. Does that mean that you can't hear me either? Or is it just that you've lost your sound? Oh, he can hear. Okay, good. So anyway, you can see, Garrett, a question. Chris asked a question about number one on the 2.4 lesson. So we're starting to go through it here. All right. So we've got our basic setup. Where you have to begin, Chris, is where they overlap. I'll show you what I mean. It says right here, the number of elements in the overlap, where A overlaps B is 5. So that tells me that goes there. All right. Now, the number of elements in set A is 15. Does that make sense to you, what I just did?
Did you just subtract it because it overlaps?
Yeah, see, what this says the total number of things in set A is 15. So I had to make that a 10, so when you add 10 and 5, it adds up to 15.
So then B would be 15.
In the outside part of B, it would be 15. Yep.
Yeah.
So that's really the key to the answer. Now, when I ask you for, and here's the final question, how many elements are in the union? That would be what? Union means take all of that together, and what is the
30.
total?
30.
Yeah. And that's the answer to number one.
Okay.
So maybe we should do, I don't know, you want to do another one somewhere in that area?
May as well. Yeah, may as well.
I forgot. What did you guys have? Every other odd?
1 through 5, and then 7
okay.
through 25 odd.
All right, so let's do number 2 then. So number 2, 2.4, page 90. So this time, the number of elements in set A is 12. The number in B is 6. And the number in the union, so they're giving us different facts here. The number in the union is 14. Okay? And you're supposed to find the number in the intersection. Okay, so now just want to show you something here. If you add up the number in A with the number in B, you get 18. And do you see how that's 4 over what it says for the union? So when you add them together, you get more than everything.
Yeah.
How far off is it? 18 in comparison with 14.
4.
So that's an indirect clue that just told us this. A sneaky little way to tell us that, but that's what that just told us. Now let's go back. Fill it in. The number in A is 12. The number in B is 6. Does it check? Does the number in the union equal 14? Yeah, 8 plus 4 plus 2 is 14. Okay, yeah. So now the easy part. How many are in the intersection?
4.
Correct. So I don't know. I think you maybe we should just, why don't we do number 3 yet?
Okay.
I'm just trying to get you as comfortable as possible. Okay, number 3. A has 15. A intersect B is 5. A union B is 30. And we're supposed to find how many are in B. Ah, sorry, my penmanship is... Okay, so there's the problem. Let's make a drawing. Now, we have the overlap, so let's get it. They gave it to us this time. So let's get it in there. Okay. Now, the number in A is 15, so we know this, right?
10.
Now, how can I use this clue right here? What does that tell me? The number in A union B is 30. That means
So
if it...
A and the intersect both, whatever, so that equals 15, so B must be 15 to equal 30.
Yeah, you got the idea. You mean the rest of B has to be 15. Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
So now what's the answer? How many elements are there in circle B?
Would it be 20?
Yes, it would. That's exactly correct. So you are catching on. So whenever you have the intersection, you want to get that in there first. By the way, let me just go back to I want to show you how, this is going to sound dumb, but I want to show you how to do one of these incorrectly. Okay, let me duplicate this. And whatever you do, don't write this down because I'm going to purposely do it wrong. Okay?
Yep.
So this is what a lot of students, let me make the drawing again. Here's the most common error I see very frequently. They'll make their drawing and they'll say, all right, A has 50, let's see, A intersect B is 5. The number in A is 15. The number in B is 20. Did you see what I did?
You didn't subtract.
Yeah, I mean, I said the number in A is 15, and some people say, well, that's got to be this part, but then they're forgetting that 5 is also in A. And so you're right. I needed to make that a 10. So anyway, I'm going to delete this. This is incorrect. I just thought I'd show you, you know. Back to the correct way to do it. Okay. You have another one you want to look at on 2-4, Chris?
I think Garrett does on the comments there.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry, Garrett. I got to keep my eyes over there. I have got question on 5 when we get to it, and that I'm assuming is on what, 2.4, Garrett? Yeah. Okay, 2-4, number 5. Got it. Let me add a slide here. And Chris, thank you for drawing my attention to that.
You're welcome.
Okay. Yeah, okay, so we got 100 families total. So basically it's 2 sets, Time and Newsweek. I'm going to call them T and N. Okay. Let's see. 75 subscribe to Time, 55 to Newsweek, and 10 to neither. Oh, so I need this too. I need a universal set. And there's 10 somewhere out here. That's the neither. All right. All right, well, first of all, with those 10, that only leaves 90 families left, right, Garrett? So just for the moment, we've got 90 left. And what is 75 plus 55? Those are the other two numbers they gave us. That's 130. And you notice how far off these two are? We've only got 90 families left, and if you add these two up, we're over by 40. That tells me, Garrett, that 40 have to be in that overlap part. Okay, now go back to the beginning. How many subscribe to time? Or how many, how many subscribe to time? 75. So do you see why I have to put a 35 there? Yeah, okay, yeah, the 40 was the key. You're right. That is the key to the problem. So anyway, finishing it up, 55 Newsweek. And the question is, how many subscribe to both? Well, that's what, 40? 40 is the answer. So that's a tricky way of finding the overlap. Add the two up and see how that compares to how many total families you have. In this case, it was a little tricky because 10 of them were excluded. Yeah, that's another good question. I'm glad we're you guys are asking about this. Yeah, that's fine, Garrett. Thanks. I'm sorry you had your sound is off and you have to do this extra chat window, but thank you for cooperating. I had some interesting tech challenges tonight too. I had to reboot 3 times as a, I don't know. I've got a, it gets a little tricky. I wanted to have, yeah, whatever. I got past it, so I'm fine.
Can we look at number 7?
You bet. On 2-4?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you bet. 2-4, number 7. In a survey of 100 students, okay, what do we got? English, math, and chemistry. Okay, so I'm going to make a diagram here.
Okay.
Universal set, and then we need 3 circles: English, math, chemistry. English, math, chemistry. It doesn't matter which order they're in or whatever. Okay. In that list of numbers they give you, the most important one, ironically, is the last one where it says, and courses in all 3 areas, 25. So that means this part right here, a little, sorry. So do you see that's got to be our 25? Because that's where all 3 courses overlap.
Okay.
All right. Now work your way back up. Math and chemistry, 35. So where do math and chemistry overlap? Would you agree it's in that red outlined area?
Correct.
No, I didn't. I did that wrong. That is my fault. Math and chemistry overlap here.
25, yeah.
There we go. And how many does it say are in math and chemistry? 35. Right? 35?
Yeah. Correct.
And how many do I already have in there?
25.
So does that tell you something?
10.
Yeah, so now that little football actually does total 35. Okay, you get the idea here. Let's go on to the next one. English and chemistry, 35. So let me do green here. English and chemistry overlap. in that green area. And that's supposed to total 35 again. So again, we have what, 10 out there? All right, and then moving up, English and math, 30. Well, I'm running out of colors. English and math is this football on the top here.
Okay.
And that's supposed to total 30. So can you see that we need a 5 there?
Correct.
Okay, here's what's really important. This has to be done first. If you don't start this way, the problem won't end up well. Now it's easy. Just do the singles. Chemistry, 50. Well, how many do we already have in the chemistry circle?
45.
So we need,
5.
yeah, you got it. And then 40, mathematics, 40. How many do we already have in the mathematics circle?
40.
So we don't really have any out here, do we?
Correct.
You don't have to put a 0 there, but I'm going to just put it in. So in other words, people are taking math, they're just not taking only math. Okay, and then the other single is English, 60. How many do we already have in the English circle?
40. So 20.
So we need 20. Okay, now we're almost done. But there's one thing we haven't talked about yet. Altogether, there were 100 students. What do we currently have for a total of all of our numbers? Add them up. 25, 50, 60, 70. I see 75.
Okay.
Yeah. And, well, we're short by 25. Where did the 25 go? They must be outside of those 3 subject areas. Yeah, in the universal set. Right, Garrett. Chris, did you catch what I did there?
Yes.
You're looking unsure. All I did was add up all the numbers in here and see how they compared to what the book told me was the total. And 75 was 25 short of that. That means, oh, there must be 25 students who don't take those 3 courses. And they belong, like Garrett said, out in the universal set. Okay, now we're all set, Chris. Let's answer the questions. How many students were taking math, but neither English nor chemistry? How many are in the math circle that are not taking either English or chemistry? Wouldn't that be this number?
Yeah, it would be 0 because
Yep.
they're all taking something.
Yep. And now how about question B? How many were taking math and chemistry but not English?
Math and chem, not English.
So math and chemistry would be this red football, but not English.
But not English.
So we got to throw out what? I mean, math and chemistry would be 35, correct?
Correct.
But if we throw out the people who are in the English circle, doesn't that throw that 25 out the window?
Just 10.
Yeah, then we're down to 10. So the answer to part B would be 10. And then finally, part C. How many were taking English and chemistry, but not math? Well, English and chemistry is what? This green football?
Yep.
But throw out the math? Throw out anything in the M circle, so I got to throw the 25 out?
So 10.
Yep. So that's the idea behind number 7. And when you get used to these overlap problems, I think I know it's going to sound weird, but I actually think these are fun.
They're thinkers.
I agree with your comment, Garrett. Sudoku. it is, there's a lot of similarity. That's very true. Garrett, do you have another one you would like to look at? Stuck in 2-3. Okay. You have a particular problem in 2-3? Like, where did you first get? Oh, 29 and 37. Okay, got it. So let's start with 29 on 2-3. And I believe that puts us on page 80. And then we're about this one, then we'll go to number 37. Okay, 29. Draw a Venn diagram. Oh, yeah, these are stinkers. Okay. So let me get you thinking about this kind of a problem, Garrett. Let me write the problem down first. We've got A intersect, and then A intersect B is A. So what I'd like you to do, Garrett, is first just look at this part of it. What if that was the only part? Let's say that's the whole problem. How can A intersect B and come up with A? And I'm going to make you a drawing that should show that. So if you look at that drawing I just made, Garrett, where do B and A overlap? Yeah, it's a subset. You're right. And do you see that they overlap in A? So now, I mean, that's the key to the question, because so if A overlaps B and you get A, that means A has to be inside of B. And now if you intersect this with A again, I mean, you're going to be in the same place again, right? You're going to get A. So how did they want? Yeah, so this is literally, I don't know. I'm sorry, I just plain flat showed you, but I don't know how else to do it. That's literally the answer to that question. Okay. But you're right. That was a stinker. It made you're like, wait a minute. How can A overlap B? Because usually when we draw A and B, we draw them like this. And you're right. It could never happen if we drew them like that. So they were forcing you to kind of think outside the box and have this different relationship. Okay, let's take a look. Hopefully that makes some sense. Let's take a look at number 37 then. So now we're on page 81. So A intersect, it's going to take me a while to get this down, but A intersect B, there's two elements in there. A intersect B complement is C and E. A complement intersect B is G and H. is another stinker. And then A union B parentheses complement is D and F. Draw a Venn diagram. So first of all, we got to try and figure out how can we draw a Venn diagram that makes those things true. Okay, well, let's make a picture here. Obviously, we have two sets, A and B. Capital A, capital B. And I should also draw a universal set around all of that. Maybe I should get the pictures off of there. There we go. Okay, so A intersect B is small a, small b. So we know what? A and B have to go in there. Now, where does A overlap everything that's outside of B? That's what this says. Where, A overlaps the outside of B in these two elements. So isn't this the area right here where A overlaps B complement? I need to get rid of that, but does everybody see that? So that's where the have to be somewhere in there. Okay, and then this one, I'll change to red. This red one says, where does everything outside of A overlap B? You have a G and an H. Well, here's where B overlaps outside of A. And what's the last part? A union B is everything inside the what? The MasterCard symbol? The two circles wedged together? And this says outside of that is D and F. So somewhere on the outside, we got to put a D and an F. And that's pretty much, oh, so anyway, that's the drawing. Now we haven't done the problem. So they say find the three sets A, B, and find the three sets A, B, and the universal set. So what's in set A? A, B, C, E. By the way, the order doesn't matter. What's in set B? A, B, G, H. What's in the universal set? A, B, C, E, G, H, F, D. I mean, I just did them verbally, but so that's what's going on in number 37. So you see how I changed these crazy looking statements and I changed them into words. That works for me when I change them into words. So like outside of A, where does that overlap B? Is my description of this part right here. So I think that could be helpful. Yeah, I know. It is hard to know where to start. You're right, Garrett. I agree. I'm going to turn the pictures back on just so I can see my two precious students are still here. I hope both of you had a good 3-day weekend.
Yeah, thanks. Hopefully you did too. It's
Yeah,
not long enough.
Didn't do anything special, but that's okay too. Just having an extra day was really nice.
Exactly. Exactly.
What is week 3 about? Well, let's see if I have enough memory to open that browser up and take a look. Okay, so we're almost, we're, there's really, I mean, we're done with 2.4 with week 2. So there's really only one lesson left in the book, 2.5. And instead of you guys doing the lesson in the book on 2.5, I am going to be doing a presentation for you. Well, I say going to be doing it. It's linked. It's, I got to see now. I see I didn't change the link over here, but if you go over here on the left, you see this link right here under, I don't know if you got, hope this tiny print. Can you see me here on the left side by the videos? It's the 2 infinities. Click on that. Actually, I'm going to be changing over here under week 3. I've got it broken into 2 parts, and I want to change that so you don't have to look at the 2 infinities part 1 and then part 2. Just go to, it'll be a single link like it is up in the top left. So on that, there won't be a written assignment for 2.5, but I do want to have you have some notes in your notebook on that section. Okay? The rest of week 3 is going to be reviewing for the chapter 2 test. So you'll see there's only, 2.5, there's only, 3 objectives. And they all relate to the presentation. And then I would need everybody to dig into chapter 2. And there's a practice test in the book. You'll see it highlighted right down here. Our book actually puts a practice test in the book. The one in the book is too long, but it asks very good test questions, the kind I might ask. And then they give you all the answers. So you can take the practice test, actually check the answers, and then come back with questions for me on either Monday or Thursday night. And that's kind of the idea, my idea for, really getting ready for this chapter 2 test on sets.
I do have a question pertaining to, bless you, I do have a question pertaining to the actual test itself.
Yes.
How do you conduct that test?
Well, yeah, this is a new experiment for me too.
Okay.
So what I've done is I've got most of it done. Most of it I have made a multiple choice test that you can take online. There will be I think only 4 answers for each, or might be 5 on one. One of the answers is correct, the others are not. You simply pick the letter of the correct answer. All right. There will be a time limit, but it's not going to be real heavy pressure. It should be pretty, I just can't let you work on it all night.
Okay.
So I haven't figured that out yet. Maybe right now I think I only have about 10 questions. I might add a few more. I'm still working on that right now. But anyway, maybe 15 questions, multiple choice. And then I'm thinking there might be a supplement where I actually send all of you a test with 3 other questions on paper, where you have to write out the answers, scan them, and send them back. And then if I put those 2 parts together, that's what I'm thinking will be your test.
Okay.
So I know that sounds a little bit crazy, but that's what that's what I believe we're gonna be doing.
Okay. It looks like Garrett has a question over there.
Yeah, I know, Garrett. That's the obvious question with an online test, right? Well, I'm sure not going to come to your house and check. But what and you could take you could take it at home, of course. But the time limit at least gives you what? I mean, you can't do what is that? Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, where you call a friend. Obviously, I want you to do it on your own. But sure, if you want to look in your notebooks, go ahead. So that's my current thinking, and I've got, like I said, I think I have 10, 11 questions done. I was thinking maybe a couple more, and then I might like I said, give you one section that you have to, like maybe I'd give you a one where you had these sets and you had to find the numbers in the 3 circles. Something you have to write out to solve. And then I want to, of course, see your work. And then you would just scan that, send it back to me. And then I'd put the 2 parts of the test together, and that would be your test.
Okay. Maybe I overlooked it or misread it, but I remember you mentioning that there's going to be extra credit opportunities within chapters.
Yes. Yeah. So that basically was in the notebook orientation. Here's how that works. So Chris, you've got some assignment questions that you've done in your notebook, correct?
Yep.
So the idea is you can go back and on each lesson, well, altogether, what are there? 4 lessons in this?
Correct.
No, 5 lessons, because we've got 1.1, and then we have 2.1, 2.2, 2.3, 2.4. So it's a total of 5 lessons. In each lesson, pick out any 3 problems you want, and they can be the ones you've already done. You don't have to do new ones. And then right next to where you worked out the problem, you do an explanation. So if you look maybe go back and but watch the video on the notebook again.
Okay.
Because I actually show you a student example in there. So if you do a good job and you do that on 3 questions in all 5 of the sections for this chapter, then I would give you 10 points, and that 10 literally would be added onto your percent score on your test. So let's say you had a 78 on your test and you got a plus 10 on your extra credit, you now would have an 88 on your test, and that's a full grade increase. So what if you only get half done and then you run out of time? Well, and if you do a really good job, I'll probably give you 5. And so you can't lose. I don't know. Does that make any sense?
Yes, it does. I appreciate the explanation on that.
Sure. The video does it a little bit better, and it actually shows you some examples, but that's the idea there.
Okay. Yeah.
Now, another note, Chris. If you're going to do extra credit, we haven't done this yet, but when you make up your table of contents, you want to make sure in your table of contents that you tell me where your extra credit is.
Okay.
So you might say, Chapter 2 extra credit, page 7, page 11, page 19, or whatever fits your particular notebook.
Okay.
So in other words, I'm not going to go looking through your notebook for the extra credit.
We have to have it marked down that there is extra credit.
Tell me where it is, yeah. And that's not hard to do. It's just something you have to take a few minutes and include that in your table of contents.
Okay.
And it's a great way to ease a little bit of your test stress. Boy, I'll tell you, that's a big boost, and it's available. Wow, you 2 guys, nice to talk to. 50 minutes went by like a breeze. I can't believe how quickly that went by.
Sure did. I appreciate it. I have a question regarding I think it's Monday night class, the optional class.
Yes. By the way, this one's optional too.
Oh, it is? So there.
Yeah. I don't force you guys to do anything, but I just want to give you those opportunities. You can rely on those as places where we can kind of chat and talk about those things.
Mm-hmm. And is it possible to open up a discussion forum just like this Google Hangout on the Monday as well? if that's possible, because I was in that.
Actually, you mean so you could read it?
Identical to what we have right now, because I remember I logged in and then my computer crashed on me on Monday, but all I could see was just writing, like instant messaging. It didn't look like a Google Hangout.
Oh no, it's not a Google Hangout. You mean you want me to do a Hangout on both nights?
I mean, I don't know what.
Yeah, the other format is a chat format. Here, let me just show you. I've got this up on the screen.
Okay.
You can actually go look at that at the chats. So, for example, where are we? Right here, virtual office. And if you click on that, this opens up. And one of the choices is view past chat sessions right there. And if you click on that, you can actually go in and, here's the one we did first on, you can see the date on Monday, May 22nd. And then these are the participants. I only had one student who came in, and that was you, for just a few moments. Yeah, by the way, Chris, anyway, so you aren't going to see much. You were the only person that attended on Monday of the 29th. But if you click and it says see this session,
okay,
here's exactly what happened on Monday night. And you can see how you came in, I said hi, and you said, hey, how are you? And then I said, at the moment, you are the only visitor. Any questions? And then for whatever reason, like you said, your computer froze. Well, that is the whole doggone chat for Monday night. So that was kind of weird, but it was on a holiday. I get it.
Yeah, no, fair enough. I'm doubling up on classes right now to finish my major classes.
Yep.
I have 2 courses left, so I've been having a lot of things open on my computer lately.
Yeah, maybe that's my problem too. Anyway, and then, if you want to look at, here's the first chat session, and if we see that session, you can see we had a lively discussion that went on for quite a while. So you can go back and view, well, we really went at it that first night, didn't we? Yeah, so you can go back and look at those if you'd like to. But no, I mean, at the moment, I decided I wanted to have one chat and one using this format. Maybe I need to consider making them both this way, but
I think that's fine for right now. I looked forward into the different chapters, and it didn't look like the material was that much more difficult. It's kind of stuff that's already been gone through in prior classes.
Yeah, and hopefully you're finding the videos helpful as kind of your foundation. Now, hopefully I've given you enough pieces that you can, and then with questions like this, I was hoping that would be a good package for success. I'm glad, Garrett. I'm glad you love the videos. That's cool. That's really the foundation. And I know sometimes they're not super clear. You can't always hear the student question, but yeah, I'm glad they've been helpful. Good. Well, gentlemen, do you want to go through anything else tonight? You want to go through a couple more problems? We can do that.
I don't have any more questions at the minute. You pretty much summed it all up.
Chris and Garrett, remember, if you come up with an important question between now and, next week, Monday, contact me. You can just do it by email or call me or something. You don't have to wait for Monday and Thursday.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it.
Okay, guys, have a good evening. Thank you for coming tonight. God bless you.
Thanks, you too.